Go ahead and whenever you're ready, find yourself in a comfortable cross-legged position and start to settle into your space, your mat, and find a place that feels comfortable for you. And then we'll go ahead and get started here right away. So if you're using music today, go ahead and start that playlist right from the beginning. And whenever you're comfortable, rest the palms face up or face down. And start to take some deep breaths in and out. And if you're just arriving here on your mat today, start to take some deep breaths, settling into a comfortable cross-legged position. Whenever you're ready, close down the eyes. And connect to the breath here, inhaling for a count of 4 or a count of 6. Pausing at the top, and then exhaling the air all the way out. Feeling the support of the ground underneath you. And starting to center our attention and our awareness on the breath. I've had several coworkers and yoga attendees ask me over the couple of weeks of quarantine, how do I get into that pose? Or how do I do a handstand? Or this one hurts. How do I do it? Or I hear people say things like, my yoga pose doesn't look like that, or doesn't look like yours. Yoga has been translated over many thousands of years as many things. One of the most common is the union of the limited self and the divine self. So as we put ourselves into these postures, these poses, we must remember that a yoga pose is not the goal. A singular form or shape is not the goal. Instead, the goal of yoga is to create space where you were once stuck, to unveil layers of protection you've built around your heart, to appreciate your body, and to become aware of the mind and the noise that it creates. The goal is to make peace with who you are. So as we move through class today, try to focus on how your body feels, what emotions a new pose elicits, what memories or thoughts arise, and see if you can observe what arises without passing judgment. Find something that you love about each pose, and something that you can find some peace about. Continuing to take these deep breaths in and out here. And breathing to the top of your inhale and exhaling the air all the way out. Noticing if any places feel tense or need a little bit more love today. And blinking the eyes open, bringing the hands to heart center, bow the head slightly. And acknowledging your commitment to show up here right now for yourself. And blinking the eyes open, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch at the top. And then exhale the hands to heart center, breathing the air all the way down. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead, maybe slight back bend at the top. And then exhaling the air all the way out. Continuing here to connect your breath to this gentle, easy movement. And finding the space in this simple movement to breathe. And the next time your hands come down to heart center, pause there. And then inhaling, reaching both arms out in front of you. Exhale, wrap right elbow under left, twisting arms together, palms touch at the top. And then releasing shoulder blades down the back. And as you release the shoulder blades down, inhale to bring the arms, the elbows up away from you. Feeling the stretch through the back of the shoulders, the neck. And then maybe taking some small circles clockwise and counterclockwise. Finding a space in the neck or the shoulders that feels a little stuck. And then breathing some air, some life, some energy right there. Exhale, release the hands down, palms come to the knees. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, left elbow comes under, right this time, binding the arms together. If the palms don't quite touch, you can always leave back with the hands touching instead. And inhaling to bring the arms up and away from you. And even as you bring the arms up, be conscious of how you hold your core. Stacking shoulders over hips, slight engagement of the abdomen here. And if you did so on the other side, taking the same circles. And then exhale, release the hands down, palms come to me. Inhale, reach right arm out in front of you and use left hand to grab right forearm. And then pull the fingertips back towards the face on the right hand as far as you can. And then circle them down clockwise, reaching around to the far extents of your range of motion. Keeping everything else still. Starting to build up some warmth, some fire in the forearms. And then switching the direction, rotating the wrist the other way. And then exhale, release both hands down. Inhale, reach left arm away from you. Right hand grabs left forearm. Circle the wrist. Reaching all the fingers all the way down and then all the way around. Maybe flushing out some small crackles of the wrist joint. Always bringing warmth or a little bit of a stretch, not any pain. Exhale, release the hands down. Take a breath here, filling the air all the way up. Exhale the air all the way out. And then when you're ready, rolling over hands, knees, and coming to a tabletop position. And taking a moment here to find your foundation, the place where your shoulders stack above wrists, hips over knees. And maybe spread the fingers wide and plant them back down, tenting the top knuckle slightly to provide engagement of the palms. And then press tops of feet down into the mat firmly. And start to fire up the core here. And can you find a place in this posture, crown of the head reaching forward, that you feel some strength, some stability, but also some ease? Can you relax muscles that you're not using? Inhale, right palm leaves the mat, sweep arm up and away, open up. Exhale, thread the needle, bring right hand behind the left. Right ear comes to mat, right shoulder comes to mat. And then maybe if you need a little more, you start to walk left fingertips up and away from you, bringing the stretch into the side, right body, right upper back, right shoulder. Or maybe your left palm even leaves the ground and you wrap left palm around behind you, grabbing for outside or inside of right quad. Wherever you are, release the bind. If you grabbed it, return left palm to the mat. Inhale, sweep right hand up and away. And then exhale the hand down to the mat. Inhale, left palm sweeps up and open. Exhale, thread the needle. Left hand behind right. Ear comes to the mat, shoulder to the mat. And then maybe taking the same explorations on this side, scooching right fingertips forward. Or maybe reaching up and around. Finding the place that feels interesting and different to you. And wherever you're at, return right palm to the mat. Inhale, sweep left arm up and open. And then exhale, hand down to the mat, tabletop. Recenter, find your foundation. Inhale, brighten chest forward, cat pose. Exhale, round the spine, curl in, squeeze the abs. Inhale, come forward, cat. Exhale, cow, round the spine. Rippling the entire length of the spine for the entire length of the breath. And then inhale to a neutral spine. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, reach left arm away from you, right heel away. Ground down through right palm, left knee, left top of foot. And then create a line of energy out the right heel through left fingertips. Reach away from you. Exhale, crunch it in, elbow to knee. Warming up the core here. Inhale to reach. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, reach one more time. Exhale, right hand comes to the mat. Left hand comes to the mat, right heel stays lifted. And then inhale, step right foot in between the hands. Maybe scooching right foot forward if you know you need a little bit more space in the hips. And then finding your balance here, pulling right hip back, left hip forward. And then inhaling to sweep arms up and overhead, finding yourself in a low lunge, low anjaneyasana. Palms face each other. And breathe. Inhale to reach through the fingertips, maybe slight back bend here. Exhale, fold forward, hands come to the mat. Straighten right leg, pull right toes back. And breathe. And finding some space in the back of the right leg, flexing right toes. And then inhale, shifting forward, reaching up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, twist as far as you can to the right this time before tipping forward and gently resting left elbow on right knee. And then maybe using connection of the palms to push yourself a little more open to the right. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hands come to mat, step knee back, tabletop. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale to a neutral spine, then reaching left heel back, right arm forward. Grounding down through the palm, the knee, the top of the foot. Reach fingertips away from you, left heel reaches away. And then exhale, crunch it in, elbow to knee, fire up the core. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, crunch. Inhale to reach. Exhale to crunch. Inhale, reach away from you. Exhale, lower right hand to the mat. And then as you inhale, step left foot in between the hands, moving it slightly forward if you need to. And square the hips towards the short edge of the mat. Find your balance. Inhale, sweep arms overhead. Relaxing shoulder blades down the back. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Maybe finding a slight back bend here, Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Pull the toes back, straighten left leg. And then lengthening the spine to pull yourself farther over a straight or slightly bent leg. And breathing into the space in the back of the left leg. Inhale, shift forward, arms reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, twist to the left as far as you can. And then gently rest right elbow, left knee. And breathe here. Inhale, sweeps the arms back towards the sky. Exhale, hands come to the mat, step the knee back, and tabletop. And then move knees wider apart, sit the hips back, find extended child's pose here. Forehead comes to the mat, relaxing the back of the neck. Maybe shifting a little bit side to side, moving into the hip joints, the space there. Keeping elbows lifted, reaching fingertips away, maybe using the pressure on the mat to stretch and lengthen the lower back away from the hands. And then inhale, shift forward, plant palms, tuck toes, and push the hips back. Arriving in your first downward facing dog. Take several deep breaths here. Maybe finding some movement, bending one knee, then the other. Maybe rolling both ankles to the side, and then to the other. Inhale, come back to center, and whatever movement you took, feel the way it changes your perception of your body. And then find some stillness. Stay here for a breath. Lengthening the spine, keeping the knees really bent if you need to. Then inhale, look between the hands. Bottom of the exhale, step forward, feet meet the hands. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward, shift more weight into the balls of the feet. Bend knees, inhale, sweep arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, samastitihi. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, release, hands down to your side, palms face forward. And we find ourselves in Tadasana, mountain pose. Spreading toes wide and gripping the mat just gently. And finding the weight evenly spread throughout the four corners of the feet. And stacking hips above heels, shoulders above hips. And gaze is forward. Broadening collarbones, but finding a gentle engagement of the abdomen. Bend knees, inhale, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, spill forward, hands come to the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale to fold, planting hands, stepping the feet back, high plank. And find the same strength here that you did in your tabletop. Directing heels away from you, tailbone directs towards the heels. Placing weight evenly through the palms. Crown of the head reaches forward. Breathe. And then dropping to knees, tucking elbows into the side and lowering for 3, 2, 1. Right ear comes to the mat, palms reach behind you. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, gaze forward, palms come back underneath you. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, peel chest up off the mat, engage quads. Little to no weight in the fingertips. Slight back bend here, low cobra. Exhale, lower to the mat. Left ear comes down. Reaching palms behind you. This time interlacing the fingertips behind the tailbone. Inhale, gaze returns to center. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, pull fingers down the tailbone. Reach chest forward, but gaze remains slightly in front of the top of your mat, lengthening the back of the neck. Engaging legs. Exhale, lower to the mat, plant hands under shoulders. And then sliding hands forward, elbows come to 90 degrees, Sphinx pose. Engaging legs, pressing tops of feet into the mat, firing up the quads. And then tucking toes, squeezing the core. And as you squeeze the pelvis, the legs leave the ground, you find yourself in low plank. Squeeze the core. Find the strength. Spread fingertips wide. Provide yourself a base. And then inhale, step the hands up, come back to high plank. Exhale, lower to low plank. Inhale, lift, other hand steps you up, high plank. Exhale, push the hips back, downward facing dog. Stay for the inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach left leg towards the sky. And then exhale, stack the hips, bend the knee, and start to take some small circles of the ankle. And keeping the weight centered on the palms, shoulders still or neutral towards the ground. Inhale, straighten the leg, toes face the ground again. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Inhale, pivot right heel towards the mat. Exhale, heel to heel or heel to arch alignment of the feet. Inhale, cartwheel arms up and open, warrior two. Find your balance here. Tracking left knee over second and third toes. Reaching fingertips away. And then remembering to engage the right leg. Reaching through the outer side of the right foot. Breathe. Flip left palm, inhale, sweep arm overhead. Maybe right hand comes behind you to reach for inner side of left quad. Gaze maybe directs towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back, warrior two. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, straighten left leg, turn left toes toward the long edge of the mat. Hands come to heart center. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, bend right knee, come into a side lunge. Sit the hips back like you're sitting into a chair. Keep the strength in the right quad. Exhale, push back. Inhale, lower, bend left knee. Exhale, push back, straight legs. Inhale, bend right knee. Exhale, push. Inhale, bend left knee. Exhale, push. Starting to warm up the hips here. Inhale, bring hands to hips. Reach chest forward. And then bending knees slightly, leading with the chest, fold forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Relaxing head, neck, shoulders. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Hands come back to hips, bend the knees, leading with the chest the same way you came down. Bring yourself back up. And then pivot left toes towards the front of the mat, bend the knee. Reach fingertips away. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down to the mat, step the foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, reaches right heel away from you. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, open up. Circling the foot clockwise, counterclockwise. And keeping awareness on bringing weight more into the thumb and the first finger side of the palm. Inhale, re-square the hips, toes face the ground. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Inhale, pivot left heel towards the mat, cartwheel arms up and open. Finding yourself in warrior two, right side. And scooping right glute under, engage left quad. And push down through the right heel, the outer side of the left foot. And reach away from you with the fingertips. Breathe. Inhale, flip right palm, bring hand up and over. Exhale, come back, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, maybe reaching left hand around. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse one more time. Exhale, cartwheel hands down to the mat. Step the foot back. Downward facing dog. And starting to build the heat here. Bend knees, inhale, look between the hands. Bottom of the exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend knees, inhale, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Samastitihi. And drop hands down, find yourself in Tadasana. Breathe. Maybe closing your eyes. Centering for a breath. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep arms overhead, palms face each other. And find hip width alignment of the feet. As you exhale, sit the hips back, chair pose. Weight comes into the heels. Breathe, directing tailbone down towards the floor below you. Reaching arms away, soften shoulders down. Exhale, fold forward, release head, neck. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold, planting palms, stepping back, high plank. And then moving through your vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. You can always drop to knees, untuck toes, lower down this way. Back bending to low cobra. And then exhaling, tucking the toes, pushing the hips back. Downward facing dog. And you can always move straight to down dog. Inhale, left foot reaches up and back. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. And then shift left foot out to the side a little bit. Pivot right heel towards the mat. And give yourself a little space along the short width of your mat for your hips to face the short side. Inhale, sweep arms overhead, warrior one. And hips remain level to the short edge of your mat here. Reach through the back edge of the foot. And everyone's warrior one looks a little different. If you need to bring your feet wider apart, that gives your hips more space to turn towards the front. You should feel a stretch through the right hip flexors. Or maybe you need to bring your foot in a little bit, giving yourself space that way. Wherever you are, find your warrior one where you feel good. Let go of the thought, what does this look like? Instead, ask yourself, what does it feel like? Exhale, release hands behind the back, binding hands. Inhale, reach hands down, tailbone, gaze remains up. Exhale, fold forward, inside left knee, humble warrior. Reaching hands overhead. Inhale, sweep arms up and over. Exhale, straighten left knee. Hands come to hips. And maybe stepping back foot in a little bit for this. Inhale, reach right arm up and away from you. And as you inhale, tip forward, reaching forward as far as you can. Before exhaling down, right hand comes to left foot or outside of left foot. Wherever you are, hugging right hip forward, left hip back. And feeling the stretch through the back side of the left leg. Maybe the hip flexors on the right side. If this is too much, you can always use a water bottle here as well to bring the floor closer to you. Wherever you are, take one more breath here. Maybe reaching left fingertips away from you. Rebend left knee, bring hands to the mat, pivot back onto ball of right foot. And then finding the same strength, inhale, sweep arms overhead, high crescent, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tip forward, creating a line of energy through the heel, up through the crown of the head. And then twist as far as you can to the left before hooking right elbow, left knee. And then peeling the chest up and open to the left, creating the twist in the spine. Engage through right quad. Reach heel away from you. Inhale, sweep arms up and over. Exhale, lower right knee to the mat, untuck toes. Low crescent. And then exhaling, hands down to hips here. If you can, bending right knee and holding it here. This is an active stretch. If this is too much or things start to cramp, leave foot on the ground. Focus on the lengthening through the hip flexors. Maybe if you have the bend in the knee, you start to reach right hand around to grab for foot. Pulling foot in, creating a stretch through the quad on the right side. And then using the strength in the hamstrings to lower foot slowly to the mat, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, lift knee, step the foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweeps right leg up and over. Exhale, step right foot in between the hands. And then maybe scooch right foot out to the right a little bit. Pivot left heel towards the mat. And find your alignment for warrior one. Inhale, sweep arms overhead. Track right knee over second and third toes. How does it feel? Exhale, release the hands down. Find the fingers the other way this time. Inhale, reach fingertips down the tailbone, chest lifts. Exhale, fold inside right knee, humble warrior. Exhale, release the bind, hands come to the mat. Pivot back onto left toes, and brighten chest forward, runner's lunge. Inhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, high crescent. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tip forward, engage through left quad. Exhale, turn to the right. And then place left elbow, right knee. Breathe. Using the connection of the palms to twist yourself a little deeper. Inhale, sweeps the arms overhead. Exhale, lower left knee to the mat, untuck toes. Find the reach again. And then exhale, hands to hips. And this time, trying to use the strength of the hamstring to bend left knee. Maybe you hold here, finding a more active stretch. Maybe you reach left fingertips around, grabbing for the foot. And finding a quad stretch on the left side. Releasing the foot as slowly as you can. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step the foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees. Bottom of the exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Bend knees, inhale, sweep arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here. Inhale, bend knees, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hands come to the mat. And this time, bend knees slightly. Use your first and second fingers to grab around the toes. Maybe broadening the stance so that the feet are slightly wider than hips. And then shift more weight into the balls of the feet and broaden the elbows out to the side. Using the pull to pull you forward over your legs. Creating some traction in the spine. Letting chest relax onto quads. Release the bind, bend the knees. Inhale, sweep arms overhead, and then right away, spill back forward. Hands come down. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, stepping back to plank or hopping to bent elbows, chaturanga. Lowering to knees or keeping knees lifted, inhaling to a back bend. And then exhale, tuck the toes, push the hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, reach left leg away from you. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Inhale, broaden chest forward, runner's lunge. And then either scooching back foot forward or tipping on to left leg directly. Coming into standing splits, reaching right heel back away from you. Can you lift right heel just a little bit higher? And then exhale, right foot comes behind the left. Coming into a cross leg forward fold. Relax head, neck, shoulders. Maybe shake the head yes, maybe no, and then yes again. Plant hands, step right foot back, keeping left knee bent. And then exhale, step left foot back too. Inhale, reach right leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, step right foot in between the hands. And then shifting more weight onto the right foot, scooching back heel in. Or tipping weight all the way into right foot, left heel reaches towards the ceiling. Feel free to keep a slight bend in the right knee. And then relaxing head, neck, shoulders towards the mat, lifting left heel a little higher. Can you lift it just one more inch? Exhale, bring left heel behind the right. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, shift weight into toes, balls of the feet, fold forward. And then inhale, uncross feet, come back to hips width distance apart. Bend knees, inhale, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And from here, we'll move towards an arm balance. We've done a lot of hip opening here. So this will give us a really good space to move into a standing figure four fold. Shifting more weight onto the right side of your leg, broadening weight through the right foot. Start to lift left leg, bending knee, and then connecting left heel to right quad. Moving into this standing figure four. And then inhale, reach arms up and away from you. Exhale, sit the hips back. Stay here, breathe. Flex left toes. Stay for the inhale. And then exhale, brings your hands to heart center, fold forward. Keep the bent leg. Maybe you stay here, fingertips on a water bottle or slightly grazing the ground. Feel the stretch through the outer left glutes. Maybe if you have this fold, you start to wrap left toes around right bicep. Maybe you start to bring hands down to the ground, bending knee. Left elbow connects with left knee, left bicep. And maybe you start to look far forward, just like you do in crow. And you start to tip more weight into the hands. Finding engagement of the core, maybe you stay here. Actively firing up the arms, the leg. Wherever you are, inhale, bring hands back up. Bend knee, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, straighten right knee, release left foot. Shake it out. Maybe hands come back to heart center. Move to the other side here, shifting all the weight into the left foot this time. Inhale, bend right knee, bring right ankle to left knee. And then inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, sit the hips back. Figure four chair. Stay for the inhale, flex right toes. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then maybe you start to fold forward, fingertips lightly grazing the ground, straightening left leg. And maybe you start to hook right toes on left bicep, right knee on right bicep. Maybe you start to plant weight into your hands, shifting more weight into the arms, the fingers, looking forward. Maybe you play with tipping forward just a little bit. Starting to feel the weight leave the toes. Wherever you are, inhale, walk hands back to center, bend knee, reach arms overhead. Exhale, straighten left knee. Inhale, release right foot. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend knees, sweep arms overhead, chair pose. And as you exhale, slowly lower hips to the mat for 3, 2, 1. And make your way to a seated position, however is comfortable for you. Maybe moving some flesh from the butt out to the sides. Inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, start to tip forward, brightening chest over straight legs. Maybe reaching for the feet. Maybe staying here. Reaching through the crown of the head, tipping forward, lengthening spine. Inhale, walk hands back up. And then bend knees, shift forward. Reach arms forward. And one vertebrae at a time, lower yourself down to the mat. Finding lower back, connecting with the mat. Maybe moving shoulder blades slightly underneath you. And placing soles of the feet so that the fingertips slightly graze the back of the heel. Inhale one more time and exhale. As you inhale, squeeze the glutes, the quads, hips leave the mat. Knees track over second and third toes. And maybe you bind the fingers underneath the glutes here. Reaching hands away from you, scooching yourself a little higher onto the shoulders. Finding a stretch in the back of the neck. Light back bend here. Engage the glutes. Exhale, release the hands, lower down to the mat. Inhale, squeeze both knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little from side to side. And then crossing right knee over left this time, stacking knees, flexing both toes towards the face. And then reaching for outer edges of the feet to pull the legs in towards you. You should feel this stretch through the glutes on the right side, maybe even the left. And if you don't feel anything here, maybe you move back towards a figure 4 like we did in this standing pose. You reach for top of shin or back of thigh. And some people feel one of these more than the other. And then wherever you are here, reach the arms out in a T and slowly lower feet over to the left. If the bind of the legs is uncomfortable, you can always release and just stack the knees on top of each other. Inhale, bring knees back to center and cross knees the other way. Reaching for outer edges of the feet and then pulling the feet in towards you. Or moving towards a figure 4 if that works better for you. And then wherever you are, reaching arms out in a T and dropping knees over to the right, wringing out the spine. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Unbind knees, hug knees into chest. Rock and roll a little bit from side to side. Maybe circling knees slightly, massaging out the lower back. And then bending knees, reaching soles of the feet towards the ceiling and hands for outer edges of the feet. And then rocking side to side, bending one knee and then the other, maybe both. And then whenever you're ready, if there's any other postures or poses you need to take, feel free to do so now. If not, release feet down on the mat, feet splay open to the side, shoulder blades shift under you, and hands come down to your sides. And maybe if you feel you need some energy from the world today, you leave palms face up, allowing energy, love, light, healing to soak in through the palms. Maybe if you have a little left to give today, you flip the palms over and you use the connection of the palms to the earth to send energy, love, healing, light back to those around you. Relaxing into your final resting pose. We'll be here for just a couple minutes before I bring you out. Start to bring a little movement back into fingers, toes, creating small movements in the extremities. And then whenever you're ready, rolling to your favorite side, resting a head on a bicep, taking a deep breath in and out. And then using the top hand to push you back up to a seated position, resting hands on knees and keeping eyes closed here. And in light of this idea of focusing on the way our bodies move and feel, a poem I found this week. Never trust a mirror, for a mirror always lies. It makes you think that all your worth can be seen from the outside. Never trust a mirror, it only shows you what's skin deep. You can't see how your eyelids flutter when you're drifting off to sleep. It doesn't show you what the world sees when you're only being you, or how your eyes just light up when you're loving what you do. It doesn't capture when you're smiling where no one else can see, and your reflection cannot tell you everything you mean to me. Never trust a mirror, for it only shows your skin, and if you think that it dictates your worth, it's time you looked within. Bring hands to heart center, bow head slightly. The light, the love, the teacher in me acknowledges, cherishes, and admires the light, the love, and the teacher in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here. We did a lot of hip opening this class. And if you believe in all the energy stuff I do, or even are slightly starting to explore it, you hold a lot of stress and energy and emotions in your hips. So if that brought up anything for you, or if you're starting to kind of focus on your body, don't be surprised if that's some of the stuff that you start to feel. And if you have any questions or concerns or anything, feel free to reach out. If not, have a great rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.